Здравствуйте, меня зовут Vera Alexeyevna Polякova-Norwood. Hello and welcome to our Russian program. My name is Vera Polякova-Norwood and I am your Russian instructor. We are continuing the study of the Russian alphabet, but before we start looking at the new alphabet group, let's make sure that we remember very well what we learned with you during our previous lesson. We looked at the first letter group in the Russian alphabet, the one which is composed of the Latin letters that are very familiar to you from the English alphabet. A, E, K, M, O, T. And we learned our first four Russian words: mama, кот, какао, комета. And here they are: mama, кот, какао, комета. Go ahead and read these words without my help. Мама, кот, какао, комета. We also need to take a look at a few pictures, and I want you to identify in Russian what you see in them. So we call this lady Mama, Mama. And this nice little animal is Kot, Kot. And this drink that both Russians and Americans enjoy is какао, какао. Хорошо. Very good. Хорошо. And I hope that everybody remembers how to write these letters. But very quickly, let's go over this one more time. We start with the letter A, right? This is the letter A, the capital and the lowercase. The letter M, the capital letter and the lowercase. The letter Y, letter K, O, just like the English O, and the letter T, the capital letter and the lowercase. So you know that the first word that every child says is mama. And very many of us have this little animal at home. Kot. During the colder time of the year, a drink of cacao is very enjoyable. And the word, which is composed of all these 6 letters, комета. Комета. Мама, кот, какао, комета. Хорошо. Good. Very good. Now let's continue. We are ready to take a look at the second letter group from the Russian alphabet. And as this appears on your screen, you will see that it's composed of some characters that look familiar to you from the English alphabet. But be careful today. These letters do not represent the same sounds in the Russian alphabet as they do in the English alphabet. We really need to exercise caution today. Let's look at this. And remember, we are doing them the Russian way. S, R, E, N, V, P. Let me do this one more time. S, R, E, N, V, T. And of course, I'm going to comment on them individually. Let's begin with this. Looks like the English letter P, right? But it's not. It's the Russian letter R. And yes, the Russian people do roll their R's. R, R. Now you need to be really hungry to come up with the perfect imitation of this. R. That's the Russian letter R. R. And this letter that looks like the English C is the Russian letter S. It always gives us the S sound. S. And let's look at this. This is not the backwards N. That's the Russian letter E. E. It always gives us an E sound. E. So S, R, E. Let's work with these three. These three letters allow us to enlarge our vocabulary. So our first new word for today is metro. 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 In English, metro or subway. Metro or subway. That's the best, the fastest, and the most reliable system of public transportation in any big Russian city. Metro. Metro. Our next word is theater. 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 Remember about rolling your R at the end here. Theater. 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 But the Russian word theater means drama theater, opera and ballet theater, not the movie theater. We have a different word for that. So theater represents a drama theater and an opera and ballet theater. Theater. When a Russian person is going to a performance in theater, that's what he's going to see. It's either a drama performance, a nice ballet, or a gorgeous opera. Theater. And our next word is taxi. If you are in a hurry to get to a theater, catch a taxi. 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 So let's look at these words all on one page. Metro, theater, taxi. Metro, theater, taxi. And I hope that everybody is repeating those words after me. Okay, very good. Now check your knowledge. We'll take a look at a few pictures, identify everything that you see in Russian. So, what is this? Metro. Metro. Let's take a look at this picture. Theater. In fact, we are looking at the picture of the famous Большой theater. Большой theater. The most famous opera and ballet theater in Russia. Theater. And finally, how do we call this kind of public transportation? Taxi. Taxi. Well, we are doing very well. So let's take a look at how we work with these letters in the cursive format. Okay. And we shall begin with the letter R. And that's it. And notice this nice curved element on top. And that's the lowercase. Notice that with the lowercase, we do go below the line. The Russian letter R, capital, lowercase. Let's look at the letter S. Just like the English C. But remember that in the Russian alphabet, that's the letter S, and it always gives us an S sound. And finally, the letter E. This isn't difficult, is it? The letter E. And now the lowercase. Let's try a few words with these letters. The first one that we learned today was metro. Met. And now the letter R, the new one, metro. Metro. And then we learned about theater. Connecting to the letter T, and we are completing this word with the letter R. Theater. Theater. And if we are in a hurry, we can always get there by taxi. Taxi. Такси, метро, театр, такси. Хорошо. We are doing very well. Let's take a look at three more letters. Three more letters from the same alphabet group. This is the Russian letter N. N. Always gives us the sound N. N. And this letter that looks like the English D is in fact the Russian letter V. V. It comes with a V sound, and again always gives us the V sound. V. V. And this letter that may be familiar to you from your mathematics classes, looks like the Greek pi sign, is the Russian letter P. It always comes with the P sound. In fact, it is one of the letters that the Russian alphabet borrowed from the Greek alphabet. The Russian letter P that comes with the P sound. P. P. Very good. And of course, we are going to look at these letters within words. So let's continue the study of this. Kino. Kino. That's the Russian word for a movie. Kino. Kino. Look at this. Kino. And if you would like to see a good kino, go to a кинотеатр. Кинотеатр. And this means movie theater. One word. Кинотеатр. Кинотеатр. Movie theater. And when you are hungry and would like to enjoy a good meal, go to the ресторан. 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 Кино, кинотеатр, ресторан. Let's look at these words on one page. Кино, кинотеатр, ресторан. Read these words in your classroom. кино, кинотеатр, ресторан. Again, we'll take a look at pictures, and you already know the drill. You identify everything you see in Russian. So what is this? Кинотеатр. Кинотеатр. And what do we see in this picture? Ресторан. Ресторан. And of course, it's time for us to practice with the cursive format of these letters. So, we are beginning with the letter N. The letter N. This is what we do here. N. Our first stop is pointed, then we are coming down and making this nice little loop, going up, and a loop at the top, coming down and curving. The letter N, and this is the lowercase. We are coming all the way down, then we are going up, and we are right in the middle here, and we start connecting it to the next element, the letter N. Let's look at the letter V. Okay, I want you to remember that in the Russian alphabet, that's the letter V. And this is the lowercase v. And now the Russian letter P. And again, we have this alphabet element on top of it. The first element curves to the left, the next element curves to the right, and then we add this one on top. We are working on the Russian letter P. And now watch me closely as I do the lowercase. Yes, that's the lowercase P. We have to keep our alphabet separate so that you don't get confused with the Russian alphabet and the English alphabet. We are working on the lowercase letter P. And now the words. The words. Let's begin with the Russian word for a movie. And what's that word? Kino. Kino. Start with the letter K, E, now the letter N, and we connect it to the letter O. Kino. Let's try this one more time. Kino. The letter K, E, N, and the letter O. Kino. A movie. Kino. And if we would like to see a nice kino, where do we go? Кинотеатр. Now this is going to be a longer word because кинотеатр is one word in Russian. Kina. And now we are on the theater part of it. The letter T, and we complete it with the letter R. Кинотеатр. Кинотеатр. And if we are hungry, where do we go? We go to a nice restaurant. Restaurant. Ран. Ресторан. Кино. Кинотеатр. Ресторан. Кино. Кинотеатр. Ресторан. Very good. Our vocabulary is growing. And that is Хорошо. Good. Хорошо. But let's continue working on it. We know very well that Moscow is the capital of Russia. But do the Russian people call it Moscow? No, they don't. The Russian word for Moscow is Moskva. Moskva. In fact, what a beautiful word it is. Moskva. That's how the Russian people call their own capital. Moskva. And one more time after me. Moskva. Moskva. Notice this letter in this word gives us a V sound. Moskva. The Russian people are big lovers of sports. Sport. 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 And let's look at the next word for us today. Read it. Stop. Stop. That's what you see on a Russian stop sign. Stop. Same word, only it's represented in a different alphabet. Stop. And again, we need to look at these words on one page so you can read all of them. Moskva, sport, stop. Now read them in your classrooms. Moskva, sport, stop. Very good. And now let's look at a few pictures and please identify everything that you see in Russian. We know that the name of this city, which is the capital of Russia, is Moskva. Moskva. Now you can do it exactly the same way as the Russian people do it. Moskva. And Russians are big lovers of this kind of event. Sport. Sport. That's good. Хорошо. Хорошо. But writing, you know, is also very, very important. So let's take a look at how we write these three words. We shall begin with the name of the Russian capital. Starts with the letter M. And since that's the name of a city, we need a capital letter. Moskva. 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 Let's do this one more time. Again, you remember we start above the line and we make the tops of the letter M pointed, then the letter O, S. We're working on the letter K. Moskva. Moskva. Sport. S, P, O, and now the letter R and the letter T. Sport. Again, one more time. S, P, the letter O. Now we are working on the letter R. Sport. Sport. And stop. Let's work on this word. S. Now the letter T, O, and the letter P. Stop. You will see this word on a Russian stop sign. Stop. Moskva. Sport. Stop. Хорошо. Very good. Хорошо. So how many letters do we already know? We started with these 6 letters. A, E, K, M, O, T. And you know that these are the 6 letters that the Russian and the English alphabets share. А, Е, К, М, О, Т. And from this easy group of letters, we moved on to our second group, which is composed of the letters that we do share, but they represent different sounds in the Russian alphabet. S, R, I, N, V, P. S, R, I, N, V, P. Be very careful with this group. So we already know 12 letters from the Russian alphabet. And just think of all the words that you have already learned. Москва, спорт, stop, метро, ресторан, театр, кинотеатр, кино, какао. Your vocabulary is growing. Very good. Now you need to keep on practicing with reading these words and writing in cursive, and not only the letters, but Russian words. Keep practicing with all the words that we have learned with you so far. And during our next class, during our next lesson, we will look at more letters from the Russian alphabet. But keep up the good work. Хорошо. Спасибо. Thank you. И до свидания.